Kung Lao ducked as Liu Kang's signature flying kick flew overhead. Reacting quickly, Kung Lao teleported in the direction Liu Kang had flown. Just as his cousin turned back to face him, he materialized behind Liu Kang, taking advantage of his momentary confusion with one of his own signature moves, the whirlwind spin. The attack knocked Liu Kang into the air, opening him up to another attack. However, the ever-quick-thinking Liu Kang reoriented himself to face Kung Lao and launch his Dragon Fire attack Kung Lao's way, forcing him to prolong his whirlwind spin to guard against the attack. By the time the fireball had dissipated harmlessly across the barrier of wind, Liu Kang was back on his feet, throwing a second fireball Kung Lao's way. Realizing Liu Kang's plan, Kung Lao stopped spinning, using his built-up momentum to throw his bladed hat directly into the fireball before rolling to the side. The hat's serrated blade sliced through the flame dragon and careened towards Liu Kang, who simply slid under it on his knees. The blade narrowly missed Liu Kang's head, but sliced through part of his fringe, slicing it off. The repositioned Kung Lao would need a moment to will his hat back onto his head, giving Liu Kang a brief opening to attack. He quickly closed the gap with another flying kick, which Kung Lao blocked with both hands. Liu Kang then struck Kung Lao in the chest with his left foot, and then the right, and then the left, alternating rapidly, revealing the attack to actually be his bicycle kick. Sensing his forward momentum dying, Liu Kang kicked off from Kung Lao's still blocking arms, flip-kicking Kung Lao in the chin. Both monks flipped backwards, Liu Kang landing in a crouch after one flip, and Kung Lao flipping 3 times before landing flat on his back. Before Kung Lao knew what was happening, Liu Kang was standing over him, his fist aflame. "I yield," Kung Lao said in a strained manner, holding his hand up to signal his surrender. Liu Kang's expression immediately softened into a friendly smile. He dispersed the flame and held out his hand to help his friend up. As Kung Lao took his cousin's instantly cooled hand, the area erupted with applause as Liu Kang was declared the winner of the bout. The two were stood on the lei tai of the Wuxi Academy's practice area, observed on all sides by masters, students, and villagers alike. Chief among them were the White Lotus Society's founder, the Thunder God Raiden, and the mentor of both competitors, the Outworld Master, Bo Rai Cho. They made their way onto the platform to congratulate the two on a battle well fought. As they approached, Kung Lao skulked off to retrieve his hat, leaving Liu Kang alone to soak up the praise. "Very well fought, my student," Bo Rai Cho applauded, heartily patting his student on the shoulder. "Thank you, master," Liu Kang replied with a deep bow. "Liu Kang." As Raiden spoke his name, Liu Kang bowed even deeper. "Lord Raiden," he said with the deepest respect he could muster. "I am most impressed by your abilities," the Thunder God praised. "Bo Rai Cho has taught you well." The master chuckled. "A painting is only as good as the canvas upon which it is painted, and I was gifted with the most wonderful canvas indeed." "You honor me, master," Liu Kang said with another bow. "Come now, we must celebrate your selection to compete in the tournament. You too, Kung Lao." As Bo Rai Cho dragged Liu Kang towards the main temple, followed by the remaining monks, Kung Lao stayed where he was. Raiden took note of this and approached. "Kung Lao, do not feel so somber," he consoled. "You fought with skill and determination that would have made your ancestor proud to have you bear his name. But it was still not enough, was it?" the monk replied, his tone a mix of sorrow and bitterness. Kung Lao had always taken pride in his family lineage, descended from and named for the great Kung Lao, the hero who had saved Earthrealm when last Outworld had achieved a 9-tournament streak. Although he had been slain in the very next tournament, the fact that the White Lotus could send a warrior to compete for Earthrealm 500 years later at all was a testament to the man's legacy. With Earthrealm's situation now mirroring what it had 5 centuries ago, Kung Lao's parents had chosen to name him in honor of his ancestor, in hopes that it would inspire him, that destiny would take hold and allow their child to replicate his ancestor's feats. But it was not to be. Liu Kang would be the one to hold Earthrealm's future in his hands, not Kung Lao. "I have brought dishonor to my family. My father had so much faith in me, and I failed him." "Kung Lao, stop this," Raiden said more sternly. "Liu Kang was victorious here, not because he is better than you. No, it is because I am worse than him." With that, the melancholic monk walked away, leaving Raiden alone with no words to encourage him. "To Liu Kang and Earthrealm's victory!" Bo Rai Cho roared, gulping down his next mug of wine before the other monks could even register the words he was urging them to chant. Bo Rai Cho was an incredible warrior, but his raucous nature was usually at odds with the more reserved, peaceful monks of the White Lotus. Fortunately for him, he had been the one to train the great Kung Lao, so his presence was tolerated by even the most dour monk. With how Master Bo-Rai-Cho proceeds, one would think Earthrealm had already won the tournament, Master Wen remarked, shaking his head in resignation. Liu Kang chuckled. Perhaps, but in times as dark as these, one needs the occasional break to maintain hope. Or so my master taught me, he added with a wry smile, which his master returned. Whether you succeed or fail, Liu Kang, know that you've made us all very proud regardless. I will. Thank you, master. I know you will. But right now, I sense there is another in need of the hope you inspire. He pointed a frail finger towards the temple doors, where a figure silhouetted against the full moon could be seen quietly leaving the banquet. Its form was unmistakable. Kung Lao? Liu Kang quickly gave his master a parting bow before rushing past the monks congratulating him, gently pushing them aside until he was out in the cool night air. He caught sight of Kung Lao heading towards the village where his family lived. Liu Kang called out his name as he quickly approached. Liu Kang, his friend uttered in surprise before his moonlit face took on a much more bitter expression. Shouldn't you be celebrating your victory with the others? Liu Kang's own expression darkened at the accusatory tone of his cousin. Shouldn't you as well? You may not have won, but few would say you lost. Spare me the disingenuous praise, Liu Kang. You won, I lost, and my family has been dishonored. How could you think that, Kung Lao? Your skills are worthy of our ancestors. I know that firsthand. Trust me. Liu Kang reached up and ran his finger through the section of hair that had been shaven off by Kung Lao's hat. But this isn't about me, is it? All my life, I have been trained to compete in the tournament. I was given the great Kung Lao's name. I was chosen to inherit his combat hat and his training gear. I learned all the skills he did, and it was still not enough to beat you. If I am not the best warrior the Academy has trained in our generation, then I am not worthy of any of the faith that was placed in me. Kung Lao. I have failed my mother, my father. Young Kung Jin sees me as a hero, and I let him down. Kung Lao, no. And worse, this is not even about your victory, Liu Kang. You have trained just as hard as I have. Earthrealm needs, now more than ever, to have the absolute best warriors competing for its future. And if you are to compete, then it is only a sign that you are the best. Yet, I still feel resentment towards you for besting me. I do not deserve the name, not because I lost, but because I feel such resentment over you. Liu Kang clasped his hands tightly on Kung Lao's shoulders. Kung Lao, listen to me. I may have proven victorious this day, and I may even be a greater warrior than you, but that in no way brings dishonor to our family. You always had much more undue pressure placed on your shoulders than I did. I understand how you feel, and I forgive you. Kang, just let me say one last thing, Liu Kang interrupted, silencing his cousin. You and I are both worthy and capable of defending Earthrealm. If I win the tournament and prevent Outworld's victory, then all of our ancestors will be honored, yours and mine. But should I lose? Liu Kang's voice took on a much more grim tone. Should I fall in mortal combat, Earth will need a strong warrior to lead the charge against Shao Kahn's invasion force. It would truly honor our ancestors if that warrior would be you. Understanding what Liu Kang was saying, Kung Lao nodded slowly as he realized that not only had he never given much thought to the possibility that he might not be the one to compete in the tournament, but he had never given much thought to the potential outcome of Earthrealm's loss either. Liu Kang, however, had clearly put a lot of thought into the many potential outcomes. Kung Lao smiled in resignation. You truly are the best man to compete, Liu Kang. Very well. I will stay and prepare for the potential invasion. He corrected himself and emphasized the word in hopes of assuring his cousin that he didn't doubt his abilities. Liu Kang returned the smile. I know you will, Kung Lao, and be it by my hand or yours, Outworld will be stopped before it ever threatens our home. He held up his forearm, which Kung Lao bumped with his own in solidarity. After a moment, Kung Lao spoke again. Come with me, cousin. I have something I'd like to show you. Raiden stood by Bo-Rai-Cho and Master Wen's side at the Academy's main gate the following morning, awaiting Liu Kang's arrival. The people of the village had all gathered to wish him luck and shower him with praise and gifts. Raiden recalled similar incidents with all the White Lotus's other candidates, even before the great Kung Lao had departed for his legendary victory. Bo-Rai-Cho's nostalgic expression indicated that he too was recalling such times. The crowd of villagers grew closer, coming to a stop before Raiden as many of the villagers bowed to the Thunder God in respect. This gave Liu Kang and Kung Lao an opportunity to step out of the crowd and bow themselves. Raiden was surprised by what Liu Kang was wearing. He had dropped his usual black pants for a pair in red and black, with a dragon pattern running down the legs, not too dissimilar to the red pants the great Kung Lao had worn in the tournaments. but more surprising were the matching red headband and the spiked wristbands he wore as accessories. Liu Kang, are those? Liu Kang straightened up in surprise before looking down at his wrist. I thought he could use something to guard against blades, Kung Lao explained. That and keep that unkempt hair out of his eyes, he added with a wry smile. As Bo' Rai Cho laughed heartily and gave his star pupil some final words of encouragement, Raiden could only smile. It seemed that those accessories were indeed those the two's ancestor had worn all those centuries ago. No doubt his old friend would be happy to know that his descendants saw fit to honor him so, and that he would be proud of both, not only as warriors, but as honorable men.